Hi, and welcome back to Bear Food Kitchen. We are here today to make Korean beef in the Instapot. I absolutely love this dish, and my family loves this dish, and I hope you do too. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you think. Love to hear from you. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start the Instapot on Sauté. So you're going to take off the lid, and you're going to hit Sauté, and we are going to add some olive oil. This is my favorite brand. I love the Solana olive oil. It is California grown, delicious, a little peppery. And we're just going to put about 2 tablespoons, maybe 3. There you go. Looks good. And I have 3 pounds of chuck meat. You could use your favorite brand. You could use a tri-tip if you love tri-tip, or have one in your freezer you want to use up. And we're just going to saute it. You know, put a little salt and pepper on it. Get a little spicy. Put some flavor on it. This is my favorite salt. You want to put a lot of salt and a lot of pepper. You want that crust when you go to brown it in your Instapot. You want to make a crust on the outside. So we're going to do this in batches. I'm going to do some of them, and then I'll put them on a plate. And then I'll do the other batch. So just some salt. Salt and pepper, adding pepper. So the Instapot gets hot pretty quickly, and I'm going to use tongs and put the meat in batches, one at a time. So I am going to put the salt and pepper side down, and you could hear it sizzling, so hot. And this one, depending how big your Instapot is, I could fit 4 of these bad boys. So while they're in there, I'm going to salt and pepper the tops of them so I don't have to touch the meat. Don't be afraid to salt the meat. Depending how much meat you use, you can't go wrong by salting it a lot. A heavy dose. And pepper. Ooh, smells delicious. So we're going to brown all the sides. We're going to take them out, put another batch in, and then we're going to throw all the rest of the ingredients in. I have a plate around here somewhere. While that's browning, thank you, I'm going to chop up, this is 1 Granny Smith apple, and I peeled it, cored it, and now I'm just going to chop it up in little bits. I don't know if you guys have your own favorite knife to use at home, but this one's mine. It's like the perfect size. I also like a little bit longer one that I use for everything, but I can hold it nicely in my hand. It's a Cutco knife, and a good knife is what you need when you are cooking in the kitchen. There you go, just like that. So that is going to go in after I throw everything else in. Let me just see how the meat is looking. Oh boy. It is getting nice and brown. Look at that. I'm going to flip it over. Do the other side. And if you need to add a little more oil, you can go ahead and add more oil. Just like that. Now I also have a green onion, and the green onion I put on top after I'm done shredding and I'm going to plate it. The green onion adds a little bit of freshness and a little bite to the meal. We serve it over rice, and I made some white rice earlier. Just like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this meat out. Transfer it onto a plate and do another batch. Woo. And if you need to add a little more oil, you could add more oil. It looks good right now. Woo, it's on fire. Which is what you don't want to hear in a kitchen. But hey, we're on fire, we're cooking. Just like that. Smells good. And we're gonna do some more salt, because we like the salt. I love shaking it. I don't have my wine today, but I have lemon water. Delicious. So another heavy dosing of salt. Smells amazing. A little bit of pepper, a lot of pepper. So some of the other ingredients that are going to go in as soon as it's brown, we have a cup of beef broth. We have half a cup of soy sauce. We have a half a cup of orange juice. The olive oil, I used it out of the bottle. We have garlic, ginger, and sesame oil. Sesame oil, you can see, I didn't use a lot. It's just a 1/4 teaspoon because a little goes a long way. And then we will garnish also with sesame seeds so everybody knows it's in there. It makes like a delicious, kind of, not teriyaki, but just a very sweet, delicious sauce. If you could see in the pot, the bottom gets those little brown bits on there. When we pour the beef broth in there, we will scrape the bottom with a handy dandy spatula. And we'll scrape all those little flavorful bits off of there. It has like the meat, and it has salt and pepper, and it just adds to the flavor of the meat. And that's really why you want to do the browning process, is to get those little bits on the bottom, because it adds so much flavor. Let's just take a little peek at this. Oh yeah. Gonna go ahead and take that out. Oh yeah. So good. You could also use stewed meat that's already cut, or you could use these things have a mind of their own, or you could use a whole roast and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Here is 1 cup beef broth. We're gonna go ahead. See all those little pieces down at the bottom? You really want to get all those pieces up. take the time and do that. Just like that. Then you're going to add a half a cup of soy sauce, 1/2 cup orange juice. Going to add 6 cloves of garlic. No, it's not a lot of garlic. You need all 6 cloves. And 2 tablespoons of ginger or more. If you're like me, you want more. And then we're going to go ahead and add the sesame seed oil. It's just 1/4. A little bit goes a long way. That's it. Give it a little stir. Oh, it smells amazing. Just like that. And meat back in the pot. Hot, hot in the pot. That's what my daughter always used to say. Try and lay them all on the bottom, but if you are making double, then it's okay if you stack them. For me, I'm gonna just lay them all on the bottom. It's big fatty. Oh, it smells so good. And then the apple, it goes on top of the meat. So just pour it right on top, just like that. Scoop it up, make a mess. Just like that. We're gonna put the lid on. Make sure it's on vent. And then we're gonna set it for 45 minutes. We're gonna come back, I'm gonna shred it, put it back inside the broth, and then pour it over some rice. So I went ahead and I took out the meat with the tongs, and I went ahead and shredded them, and it literally fell apart. It was so easy. You just take your 2 forks, pull the meat apart, comes together. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? It's so good. And as soon as you're done with that, we're gonna put it back in the pot. I'm gonna try not to make too much of a mess, so I'm gonna use my tongs. And let me tell you, this recipe feeds a huge family. Or if you have a small family, you could invite friends over. Or you could freeze it, save it for another day. Scrape it all in there. Oh, it's delicious. Look at that. Just go ahead and stir it up inside that beautiful sauce. I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. Just like that. We went ahead and heated up a bowl of rice. It's piping hot. I'm going to go ahead and serve some of this over the rice. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Make sure you add a little bit of the broth because that juice is delicious. See that? We're going to garnish it with some fresh onions. Adds a little bit of the color, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of freshness. And I like to add some sesame seeds on it just so you know that there's sesame seed oil inside of it. And I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. Use this fork right here. I know you want this. It's so good. Let me get some meat in there and an onion. It's hot. Sweet, savory. You could taste a little bit of the orange and the apple. The onion adds a little bit of crispiness. It's delicious. I totally recommend it. Let me know what you think. Please subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think about this dish, and we'll see you next time. Bye.